My name is Maria de Gracia, and I am a dietitian and nutritionist student from Cal State University of Norwich. Today I want to give a lesson about nutrition to a 13 to 15-year-old boys that belong to a soccer game from the high school, Royal High School. But this year is the year of the COVID-19 where everybody is in quarantine, so for me it was very difficult to bring the boys to this classroom. So thanks to the coach that I contacted a few days ago, they let me come into the classroom where I was supposed to perform this lesson with the boys because they really need a learning experience about nutrition. So my lesson is going to start like this. I am here today to tell you what should you eat before a soccer game for a better performance. If you follow what I'm telling you today, you will be prepared for a game mentally and physical, and it's going to be for a better condition for you guys. Let's begin and look for what did we eat yesterday, for what did we eat the days before. That is actually what is going to impact us for the games that we are going to perform tomorrow or today in the afternoon. So let's ask your coach Hernan what kind of meals did he have yesterday or what did he eat the days before. Just give us just a sample of what did you eat.
I had asparagus, I had chicken, and I also had a piece of bread.
Okay, that sounds very healthy. Why did I ask this? Because it's very important for you guys to know that when you eat, this food is going to digest into your system, and part of that food that is carbohydrate, as he mentioned he had some asparagus, he mentioned he has some bread. So let's take the bread. Bread is a carbohydrate source of or micronutrients, and it's a carbohydrate. So what it does the bread when it goes into your system? So Coach Hernan, he goes and he eats the piece of bread. So what it does in your system is your body is going to digest that bread, and the bread is going to break into your stomach into small nutrients. So one of those nutrients is sugar. So what happens to sugar when you go into the carbohydrates become into sugar into your system, and the sugar, one of the sugars that are important is glucose. So what happens to the glucose? These are little molecules of glucose that when they come together, they become compact and they become into a big molecule. All this molecule is what we call glycogen. So glycogen is very, very important for your muscles and your liver. Have you guys heard about glycogen? Coach Hernan, have you heard about glycogen before? What is that so important for us?
I have heard about it. I'm not sure the young boys have, so if you can run down on that, would be great.
Okay, yeah. So what glycogen does is allows us to have energy for a high performance and high intensity games. So we can work longer with more energy, and we can resist more all the movements that we have in the soccer game that I know is a very extreme sport. So that's actually very important for the kids to know. So I want to ask you another question. What do you want from your boys during the game to feel? What do you want them to feel? How do you want them to perform in the games?
First would be the mental focus to be there. I want them to be physically fit. I want them to have stamina, and I want them to have strength.
Okay, that's actually ideal, right? So everything, it comes, you guys know everything comes to practice. For you to be ready into a game, you had to practice, you had to drink water because you need to be hydrated. But one crucial part of this is nutrition. Why nutrition is so important for your body, why nutrition is so important for your health. And actually, if you make all this into consideration, it's not going to be only for you to perform well in your soccer game, but also for your time, for your life, for it's going to be all the way up to your lifespan. So I'm going to go into micronutrients. Micronutrients. I want to tell you guys that in the handouts that I give you, there is a quiz that I want you to do while I'm talking to you. I want you to complete it because in the end of the class,
This one here?
yeah, that one. In the end of the class, we are going to correct it. So I had a quiz right here. So okay, micronutrients. Micronutrients are what we eat. So during the food that we consume carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. These are the main essential micronutrients. Carbohydrates for a sport athlete, for a person who plays sports, has to be 60% of carbohydrates, 20% of fat, and 10% to 50% of protein. So for you to be able to have these micronutrients, you need to eat very, very well. You have to eat very healthy food. So I'm going to explain you about my plate, and this is how your plate should look. Half of the plate, this is only for the athletes, okay? Because a regular plate for people that don't do sports is a little bit different. So this is for the athletes. So half of the plate should be protein, carbohydrate. So in the carbohydrates, what kind of carbohydrates should you eat? I give you another handout where it tells you what carbohydrates I suggest. It's called My Plate for Athletes. In there, you have, it's very well divided, yeah, that one. In the other page, you will have the carbohydrates that I actually want you guys to try. So, healthy carbohydrates for you to try is brown rice. You can have some quinoa. You can have whole bread, oatmeal, pasta. That actually is everybody knows about pasta, as you know with your coach that you do with pasta. And the other one is vegetable. That's how your plate has to look. Carbohydrates. Let's say example here, pasta with some. Let's add a little bit of cheese to the pasta, tomato paste, and a little bit of meat, right? Vegetables. This mash of vegetables is very important for you. And lean protein. Lean protein can be a piece of chicken, or actually can be the meat that you put already in the pasta. It can be counted as this. We need fat. Goes here in this side. Fats is very important. Fats. We cannot count it because it goes into your meal. But fats can be like in the salad. Can be avocados, or can be olive oil, or any other type of fat. But actually fats, I want you guys to learn more about fats because actually it's very important. And the ideal thing about fats is that if you put the right amount of fat, and if you put a healthy fat, that's good for your body. It helps actually to have more stronger performance. A protein for a soccer player has to be the good amount. Has to because protein intake is crucial. Actually, it helps you to after the game, helps you to recover better. Lean protein is the best option. It can be chicken, turkey, fish, and very lean protein meat. Okay, now I want to tell you about minerals, vitamins. So if you follow all this, like the way how I explained you here, with the appropriate healthy foods, you will have your vitamins and you will have your minerals, and you don't need to go to the store and get supplements. That's how your body doesn't work that well like that. It's better you consume your vitamins and minerals. There are actually 3 minerals that I want you to be more cautious about it. That is calcium, sodium, and potassium. Why those 3? Because those actually are very important and essential nutrients that when we play soccer, we sweat and we release those minerals, and we need to put those back. Eventually, those are called electrolytes. With the drink or with the food, like let's say, I will give you a sample for how do you want to put the calcium back in your body. You drink milk, you can eat a yogurt, green vegetables, almonds have a good quantity of calcium. If you are lactose intolerant, you can have leafy greens, or you can have other type of, instead of milk, you can have alternative milk like soy or almond. It's very particular here in America. People like to eat almond. Is like another alternative. Also, potassium. How do you put potassium in your body? Have a banana after the game. Sodium with the energy drinks have some sodium. But there is actually a tip that I want to tell you guys. It's super natural, and it's drink that it can't give you all these minerals after the game. So you squeeze a fresh orange, or use 100% orange juice. You put it into a liter of water and add a little bit of salt, and you will have there your power drink that replaces your electrolytes. That is healthy. It's better for you to make it at home instead of going and buying a Gatorade or any other energy drink that you guys like. Hydration. Hydration is very important, hydration. And I want to because if you are not well hydrated, you are going to feel nauseous, you are going to feel sick, you are going to feel that you won't be able to make it all the way through the game. So, let this be water or any fluid you desire to drink. So, hydration. How do you hydrate your body before the game? So we take 3 cups of any fluid, including water, 3 hours before the game. Before the game, 3 hours. Then 1 cup of fluid, 10 to 20 minutes prior to the game. Then during the game, you want to try to drink 1 cup of fluid every 15 to 20 minutes. Some people cannot drink that much water, so if you sip water to hydrate yourself, that's okay. And after the game, you want to have 2 cups of water to hydrate, to come back. Actually, and it's good to have water, but milk or chocolate milk, a lot of kids like to drink that, has the calcium, has some potassium, has some vitamins added, so that's okay if you guys want to have that. So, eat to win. You guys like that sense? Eat to win? Eat to win? So, how you play a game, day depends in what you eat and drink for a few days before the game, not what you ate a few hours ago. So, if you eat a hamburger, a french fries, if you eat pizza, that's no good for you. If you eat that, you're going to feel like the ball is in your stomach, not in the field. You're going to feel heavy, lethargic, sluggish. That's not good. So you don't want to eat this meal before the game. You want to eat healthy fruit. You want to eat a healthy meal like prior to the game, we say before 3 hours prior to the game, to eat a piece of if you're super hungry, you can eat, let's say, a piece of bacon or a small peanut butter sandwich. That will be okay. Or if you haven't eaten anything for the whole day, you can have a small meal, like a little bit of rice with some beans or some chicken and some vegetables. You will be okay like that, but you have to eat 4 to 3 hours prior to the game. Now let's talk about the pre-match eating. Well, I said before, 3 to 4 hours before the game, you have to eat carbohydrates. Why carbohydrates? So much carbohydrates? Because remember, carbohydrates stores in the muscles and liver and will give you more energy. Carbohydrates can consist in a plate of pasta with salad and a juice or water, or what you guys prefer to eat. Another type of meal can be a grilled chicken with some rice and a potato, and that's a high content of carbohydrates right there. Remember, ideally this meal should be eaten at least 3 hours prior to the game. The post-match eating is the eating that where you're going to replenish the stores of glycogen, what I told you before. As quick as possible, you have to eat in 2 hours after the game. And the tournament, usually tournaments...
Tournaments are usually Saturday, Sunday. Saturday you would have an early game, and maybe 4 or 3 hours later you'll have a second game. And then Sunday you would have one more game, and depending if you advance, you can play another 1, maybe 2 more games on that Sunday.
So it's very extreme. It's very hard for the kids. It's
very strenuous.
How do they perform during the games?
Well, sometimes not the whole team performs well because they still have their bad eating habits.
Yeah.
They go to bed late, or they ate the wrong foods the night before, so they're sluggish, they're slow, they're not focused. So.
Okay. Okay. So, so this is what I want you to talk now about the tournament day. We usually, so what you mentioned, early game day, right? So breakfast is very important. For me, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So prior to the game, 2 to 3 hours prior to the game, they should eat breakfast. What kind of breakfast? Let's say scrambled eggs with a toast and an orange juice. Another one is oatmeal with some berries. Another one is they don't like to eat breakfast. Let's say a peanut butter with jelly sandwich. So I have some technical thing here. So so super light between games, and that's the best thing that you can do. The only thing is I noticed when my dad used to play soccer, they used to eat pizza, and I didn't know. So pizza is the worst thing you can put between games because it's fat, has too much cheese, has pepperoni, and all that has too much fat, and actually that's very hard to digest. And that's when the guys come the second game and they are a mess. No concentration, stomach pain, and that is not like appropriate food for them to eat. So let's go healthy and healthy in dinner. So how we do it? Coach Hernan, give me a sample of a healthy, whatever I told you today, give me a sample of a healthy dinner. Remember, they had to have 60% carbohydrates. The other part, half of the other part has to be lean protein, and the other one has to be vegetable. So let's make a plate here. Carbohydrate, what do you suggest for carbohydrate?
I would say maybe whole wheat bread with some quinoa and some beans.
Okay, it's whole wheat bread, quinoa, and beans. Okay, what about vegetables?
Vegetables, you can do spinach,
Mm-hmm.
broccoli,
Okay.
and some radish.
Radish, nice. What about protein?
Protein, you can do a couple eggs,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some cheese or nuts,
Okay.
chicken or fish.
Okay. Nuts, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here we have a very nice meal. If we take kosher Nantola's white bread, let's make a very easy meal here. We take the whole wheat bread, blah, 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 blah. We take some spinach, and let's take eggs, and a little bit of cheese. That is, you have a sandwich, cheese, egg sandwich with some spinach. Next to that, we can make salad. So make an extra greens, and then you had a nice meal. Another meal that you can have, what we see here, is quinoa. Quinoa, if you guys have not tried, you should try. Ask your mom to make some quinoa for you. It's very good and it's one of the amazing. It's not grain, they are seeds, but they are amazing. They have all the amino acids. Actually, quinoa is a complete protein. So I suggest you guys to eat some quinoa. It's very delicious. And you can mix quinoa with some broccoli. And from here, you can go and get some chicken, and then you can make a good meal. Kosher Nat mentioned nuts. Very good for a snack. So you put some nuts. Let's right here. You add some nuts, fruit, or vegetables, veggies, and you can create very nice snacks. A handful of nuts is very healthy, has a lot of protein, good fat. Fruit, can be an apple, can be a pear. Bananas are very interesting because banana you should eat after the games because of the potassium. Before the game it's too heavy for you, so I suggest for you to eat bananas after the game. In my handouts, I give you some samples for meal samples. For a typical practice day, you can have your breakfast, your lunch, snacks, and dinner. Also, tournament game day, I give you, I actually went and I did your meal plans, and they are very nice. If you guys have a check at home how to make your meal plans, and that actually, so those are very good ideas. Any questions so far?
Can you explain about the pasta, if they're gonna do that, how, it's a big thing, oh, pasta dinner, pasta's good before a game. Can you give them a real quick rundown on how many hours prior to a game is a good thing to eat the pasta?
Yeah, what happened to pasta, that's a carbohydrate loading. Those are actually for like people who run long distance, like a marathon, right? Loading pasta is like a diet that they do, and it's very extremely it's the way how they do it. So the way how they do it is they go and they do a low carbohydrate diet 2 weeks prior the race. 3 days prior the race, they go and they fill up their body with carbohydrates. Then your body goes like, I have so much energy. I have a glycogen all over my body, so they go and that's good for them. In this case, the kids, I won't suggest to do pasta, like the whole plate of pasta. I suggest to do more of this. Pasta, vegetables, and a lean protein, because what it does, when you have you eat regular, if you do your pasta, what it does is disrupt the normal eating pattern of the player. So it's not good. After that day, they're not going to perform that well.
So if, we know that kids don't really go and make that perfect plate, but say they do the pasta thing, so should they do that pasta the night before the game? So if they're eating at 6 p.m. Tuesday night for a Wednesday 3:30 game, should they eat it that way, or should they eat it Monday night, a Monday night pasta dinner, so Wednesday at 3:30 they're ready to go? Is that better than, or is that how it should be?
It's okay to eat that pasta, but no loaded.
Right.
Like the right amount of
But
pasta.
is it okay
Yeah,
the
it's
night
fine.
before?
It's fine, but the pasta has to have. If they want to eat pasta, the pasta inside, the way how they make it has to have all this. Has to have the veggies, has to have the meat. Just pasta and tomato sauce doesn't do. It has carbohydrates, but doesn't have the protein that we want. It might have a little bit, but doesn't have the fiber and the nutrients that the vegetables have.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. I want to go through Coach Hernan fill this up.
I did?
Yeah, okay, let's go through. Question number one. Can you read question number one?
What three source micronutrients provide an athlete with energy? I said carbohydrates, fat, and protein.
That's correct. Okay. Number two. Which food source is the most efficient for the to fuel the athletes?
Carbs.
Correct. Third one. You want to see third one?
Carbohydrates are stored in your muscles
As glycogen, right?
as glycogen.
The fourth one?
Athletes should consume a high carbohydrate diet. Name three foods that are a good source of carbohydrates. I said pasta, potatoes, and quinoa.
Excellent.
True or false? An athlete should be burning protein for energy. False.
So what the athlete should be burning? It's carbohydrates, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Drink how many cups of water 2 to 3 hours before playing? I said 2 to 3 cups.
Okay, that's fine.
Drink how many cups 10-20 minutes before playing? I said 1 cup. And true or false? An athlete should wait until he or she is thirsty to start drinking water. False. Name 2 proteins that are important for athletes. I said fish and eggs.
That's correct.
And name 2 healthy fats that are important for athletes. Well, I named 3. Avocado, nuts, and cheese.
That's awesome. That's great. Great. I had a game for the guys. I don't have time. We don't have time to do it. Coach Hernan is going to give next time that they get together. When are you guys getting together after
Next-
this coronavirus?
First day they say it's open to go, we're on.
Okay. So can you give this game to the guys?
I'm
so
actually
they can
going.
play?
I'm actually going to go ahead and scan this and send it to them via email. In part of one of the homeworks that I assign every week for the boys. So
Oh,
they'll
nice.
be getting it.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Hernan, for letting me be here.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Very
Yeah.
educational. I personally learned myself, and I'm sure these boys are going to really
Thank you.
get a lot of knowledge and learn on. And parents too. I think parents are really gonna pay attention and learn more about what are better foods. Maybe not for them, but for their boys to perform better at games.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.